America hopes to send astronauts back to the moon and beyond. Now NASA is teaming up with businesses across the country, from small businesses to big aerospace firms. Let's connect the dots. In all, 17 companies located in 10 different states will work on projects vital to our next moon mission. That includes new 3D printing technology, new ways to keep solar arrays dust-free, and even new ways to protect spaceships when they return from orbit. There are heavy hitters in the commercial space business, like Blue Origin, founded by Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk's SpaceX. But smaller firms are also getting a shot, and there's even a Texas tech business on the list. Sensoron of Austin will help design parts that could one day be used on a ship's fuel tank for an extended mission in space. In all, NASA will spend roughly $15 million over 1 to 2 years, and while that might not sound like much, NASA says these small investments with private companies could one day lead to major advances for manned spaceflight.